Today, I'm bringing to you the power of delusion and why this is so important for fat loss and for every aspect of your life, really. Okay, so what is delusion? Delusion is having an identity that doesn't match with the reality. Okay, so you believe you are something that you in reality are not. And a lot of people, when they think of delusion, they think, oh, he's delusional, like, like it's something bad. But you can use that to your advantage. And I'm going to tell you exactly how in this video. So first of all, we have to understand what is identity. Okay, identity comes and derives from the words essentitas and identitem, being repeatedly. Okay, so your identity is literally defined by repeated beingness. So being something over and over and over again. How is identity built? From evidence. Your beliefs shape your identity, and your beliefs are based off of your evidence. Okay, so let's say that every day you walk 10 kilometers. You believe that every day you walk 10 kilometers. So now you are someone that walks 10 kilometers every single day. Okay, that's just to put it simply. Evidence is built and comes from your habits, and your habits come from your actions that are repeated over and over every single day. Okay? Therefore, how can you change your identity, right? Or the other way around. If you change your actions, you change your habits. If you change your habits, you change your evidence. If you change your evidence, you change your identity. So that's the external way to do it. However, there's an internal way to do it as well, which is what we're looking for. Okay? Change your identity to then change your evidence. Change your evidence, change your habits. Change your habits, change your actions. And that's how you get results. Okay? Let me break this down further and give you a more clear example, a more clear explanation to make sure you understand fully. Your identity is who you believe to be. Who you believe to be is, like I said, from evidence, right? Which are your habits and your actions, okay? Repeated stuff. Then it is from past experiences. So everything from the past, which is also aligned with evidence, shapes your beliefs, right? If the whole life, your whole life, you've been looking at the sky and you've been saying it's blue, you're gonna believe it's blue. Future Marco here, editing the video, kind of just here to clarify this no shit, the sky is blue moment. Yes, the sky is blue. But why do you believe that it is blue? Because every day you wake up and when you look outside, it is blue. It's not because sometimes it's gray. It's not because sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's purple when the sunset hits really, really well. You're not going to say the sky is orange, gray, or purple. On those days, you're going to call it out and say, yeah, it is that color. But you believe the sky to be blue because 90% of the time, the evidence you have to prove that the sky is blue is there. That's what I mean. Okay? Now, this is just a very weird but very basic example just to give you an understanding. And then we dive deeper. Then we have social. What everyone else tells you that you are. If someone tells you, I don't know, you're pretty, and repeatedly people tell you you're pretty, you're going to start believing you're pretty. But also, if people tell you you're ugly repeatedly over and over, you're going to start believing you're ugly. Okay? So it's all these, in reality, it's four things coming together. It's your habits, past experiences, social, and self-narrative, which is the most important one. Your self-narrative literally dictates, it's your internal dialogue. It's you telling yourself what you are, who you are, okay? And that is what actually dictates it. Because at the end of the day, you make your own decisions, right? You decide who you want to be. And if you're telling yourself that you're someone that is either amazing or someone that is horrible, so let's say you're telling yourself that you're someone who works out, you are going to work out every single day. If you're telling yourself you're someone who doesn't work out, you're not going to work out. Your body is going to find proof. You have to understand when you tell yourself something and when you believe something, your body just accepts that as reality. So let's say you tell yourself, oh, I don't like to work out, like we have here. I'm not a gym person. Your body is going to find proof for that. It's not going to look for solutions. It is just going to find proof to back that up. So that works for the negative side. But we can flip that. We can make it work for the positive side. Right? So we say, I am a gym goer. I am a gym person. Your body is not going to negotiate with something that you say you are. Okay? If you say, I am someone who goes to the gym, your body is going to find evidence for that. Your body is going to go after and find proof. And that's how you change yourself. That's the power of reshaping your identity. Okay? Let me give you some further examples. The self-narrative of, I'm not a gym person. My metabolism is slow. I hate healthy foods. We can live in this kind of like victim mindset and shape ourselves as victims and saying that it's out of our control. Or we can flip that over and say, I am a gym person. My metabolism is normal, because chances are it is. And I hate healthy foods too. I love eating healthy. I am someone who takes care of their health. Okay? Doing these switches, you're going to be switching your internal dialogue, your internal narrative. Therefore, you're going to be switching your identity and acting accordingly. Your actions are aligned with your identity, and your identity is not always aligned with your actions. Sometimes you can say, "Oh, I'm a fat person." For example, if you're starting a transformation, if you are now fat but you want to become skinnier, and you are having that internal dialogue shift, and you are saying, "I'm someone who takes care of themselves. I am someone who is fit." Right now, while physically you're not exactly there, you are going to start acting in alignment. So not always does your identity act in alignment to your actions and to your habits, simply because sometimes you're going through a phase of transformation. Okay? But best believe that if you believe something, if your identity is there, is in actual real alignment to where you actually want, to your goals, you are going to reach them. But the same goes for the opposite. Like I said, if you don't believe to be someone who works, if you don't believe to be someone who's fit, maybe you can even follow a program and you can lose 10 kilos and you can get fit. But if you don't have that mental shift, that mental switch, guess what? After that, after the actions stop, since your identity isn't in alignment with those actions, they're going to start shifting into what your identity does actually align with. So if you don't believe to be a fit person, you're not going to be a fit person anymore. Now, all of these are identity statements, not facts, right? How can we switch this and make it even more powerful? I already gave a couple examples, but I'm going to give you one that really stuck with me, okay? Imagine you're offering a cigarette to a smoker, right? There's two different people. There's a smoker that says, "Oh no, I'm trying to quit." And there's a smoker or ex-smoker that says, "No, no, no, I don't smoke." Which one is actually not going to ever smoke again? The second one. "I'm not a smoker. I don't smoke." The first one is trying to quit, is trying to stop an action while still being a smoker. He's like, "Oh no, I'm a smoker trying to quit." I am a smoker trying to quit. Identity is not aligned with the action. So it just makes it so much harder too. Second guy, "I'm not a smoker, so I don't smoke." The identity is aligned with the action. Does this make sense? Okay, so I'm going to give you a little step-by-step on how to reshape your identity. I know we already covered a bit, but now I'm going to go down here. Decide who you want to be. Decide who you want to be. Do I want to be someone that is fit? Do I want to be someone that doesn't smoke? Do I want to be someone that runs 10Ks? Do I want to be someone who runs marathons? Do I want to be someone who knows how to cook? No matter how small, no matter how stupid you think it may be, shape your identity to that, okay? Then, every day, prove it no matter how small. You don't understand the power of small little habit changes. Read Atomic Habits if you have to. It is an amazing book talking about this, okay? Prove it to yourself every day. Let's say you're someone who has a good routine, who takes care of themselves, this and that. You wake up, you make your bed, that's a win. You are proving to yourself that you are someone who has routine. You make your bed, okay? You leave your gym ready, you leave your gym stuff ready for the next day, leave it at the door ready, have a visual cue. That's someone who's organized, that's someone who has routine, right? Prove it to yourself, no matter how small. Then, Stack that evidence. Keep stacking, keep doing it repeatedly, repeatedly, and repeatedly, so that you give your body no other option than to be like, okay, hold up. He really is. He really is this guy. He really does do these things that he says he does. Right? He's not just delusional believing. No. There is evidence now. And furthermore, that evidence can be used for you on days in which you don't have willpower, in which you're not feeling it, in which you have self-doubt. Listen, I did that yesterday. I did that 2 weeks ago. How come I can't do it today? I can. So I will. So I am going to do it because I am someone who does it. Okay? Evidence doesn't necessarily just need to be to prove your identity. It is, and it will prove your identity. However, evidence can also be used as a source of motivation, in a sense, as like a spark to start that fire, because you already have evidence from the previous times and you prove to yourself that you've done it before. So what changed? Last one, change your identity. Whole topic of this video, change your identity. Decide who you want to be, prove it, stack that evidence, and change your identity. Okay? Now let me give you a good example of something that happened in 1954, which is Roger Bannister. Back before 1954, it was believed to be impossible to run the 1 mile in under 4 minutes. It was believed to be impossible. Scientists said that if you did run 1 mile in under 4 minutes, your heart would be so fast that it would explode. These are limiting beliefs. They're all limiting beliefs. That's why science is good, yes. It can give you a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding of situations, but at the same time, it can give you a lot of limiting beliefs. What did this guy, Roger Bannister, do? He ran the 1 mile in under 4 minutes, in 3:59:14. In 3:59:14, he did it. He beat science. He beat the limiting beliefs just because he believed it. Just because he believed he was someone that could run 1 mile in under 4 minutes. And guess what happened? Not even 2 months after, 20 new people had already ran under 4 minutes. Just because this guy beat that limiting belief. So if you see someone else that has beaten that limiting belief, whether it's you're an athlete going to the Olympics, you see all these guys going to the Olympics. They've broken the limiting beliefs. You see Ronaldo coming from nothing, the best player in the world. He is the example of breaking limiting beliefs. Last point is reverse engineer. Okay. Just like you can do all of this, you can start reshaping your identity, start doing this and that, right? While it may be harder, it's still doable, and it is very, very effective. I'm going to give a super example at the end of the video, okay? But reverse engineer. How do I want you to approach this, right? You want X. Let's say you want to get fit. You want to have a six-pack. Find someone who is someone that has a six-pack. Find someone who has all the characteristics identity-wise, but also has that result, okay? Because you can be in alignment with your goal, but just not be there because you're in a transformation, okay? So find someone who is X, who is someone that has a six-pack, and then ask, what does someone who is someone that has a six-pack do? What does he do? Does he eat cakes? Does he eat unhealthy? Does he skip the gym? If he doesn't, then you already know your answer to what you have to do. Then you ask yourself, am I doing what someone who is X does? Are your actions the same as his? Because your identity may be there, but are your actions the same? Not necessarily, because you don't always know the exact approach you have to take. So it's good to have an example to lead. It's good to have a structure. It's good to have someone that can place you some systems that will help you. So when you ask yourself this question, if the answer is yes, keep doing it. No, act in alignment. Now, to finish off the video, I want to give you a very stupid example. I reshape my identity and I reshape my actions. Let me explain how. More than the gym, more than all of these things, I'm not going to give you a whole motivational speech about how I changed my identity and this and that, even though it's true. I'm going to give you a stupid example so you can understand the power of it. When I was in middle school, I only liked brunette girls. I only liked brunette girls. But for me, I thought that wasn't cool. I thought it was cool to like blonde girls. So I started to convince myself day after day, I only like blondes. I only like blondes. I only like blondes. My friends asked me, oh, what do you think of that girl? She was brunette. I was like, oh, I don't really like her. She's brunette. I only like blondes. I started to convince myself that I only like blondes. And now I'm stuck with a belief that I only like blondes. And I only like blondes now. So if you're a blonde watching this video, text me.